Hello, Virgos, and welcome to Boxing Day 2022. This is your reading, your 2023 prediction video. And I'm doing one video a day in honor of the 12 days of Yule. So we've reached the halfway point. You are the halfway point in the zodiac. So let me explain how this is going to work. I work with 4 separate decks of cards today, and I will be pulling cards for a general reading, as well as a love and relationships reading, as well as a money, work, career reading. So that's right. This video contains 3 separate readings for you, Virgo. Each of the readings will consist of at least 6 cards. Sometimes more than one card comes out for each different category in the spread that I will be doing. The spread that I'm going to be using looks at where you're at now, looks at your focus for 2023, looks at some of the difficult influences that may be coming in for you in 2023. I pull a card that just makes sense. I pull a card for you with regards to unexpected insights, as well as a general predictive outcome card. Okay, so that's the 6 cards. This is a general reading for all of the people born under the sign of Virgo. So some of what comes up in this video will resonate and make sense, and some of it will not. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And if you are interested in digging a little bit deeper into predictions for 2023, I'll put a link in the description to my current promotion. I only run this promotion once a year, and it is for a 13-card reading. That would be 1 card pulled for each month in 2023, as well as an anchor card or a center card, where everything kind of ties back into that central energy for the year. So if that sounds appealing to you, then click on the link down in the description. Okay, Virgos, let's get started with your general reading for 2023. Like I said, I do work with 4 separate decks, and so I kind of close my eyes. I am in a slight trance or meditative state in order to be able to do these readings, and I select which deck is calling the loudest for the particular area of the spread from which I will be reading. Okay, you now, Virgo, for your general reading. Let's have a look at where you are at right now. You now, Virgo. Okay. Okay. We do have a card there that just wants to tent up a little bit. So we will pull that card as the You Now card. I do leave all of the cards face down during the reading in order that I don't jump around too much. Okay, your focus for 2023. Virgo focus for 2023. Nope, still not quite right. Oh, we do have a card that has flipped right over and jumped out of the deck. Let's look at your difficult influences. Where are we going? Which deck? That's not where I was expecting that to be. Difficult influences. Difficult influences for Virgo in 2023. See if a card's just going to jump out. Or no, that one went back in. Interesting. Difficult influences for Virgo in their general reading 2023. Okay. There we go. Okay. What makes sense? Virgo 2023. Getting called to 2 different decks, 2 very different decks. I do apologize if I sniffle at you a little bit during this reading. I have been suffering with a cold over the holiday season. Okay. Oh, you'll have to excuse me for a minute, but some of these cards really wanted to speak to you. They jumped right out and landed on the floor. Okay. Let's see which card is the one that makes sense. That one, because it won't go back into the rest of the deck. All right, let's look at unexpected insights. Unexpected insights, general for Virgo. Okay. And general overall energy and outcome for Virgo for 2023. Where are we going for that, Spirit? Please guide me. Going over here. We do have a card that's tinted right up there. Let's pull that card. Okay, Virgo. Let's check out and see where you're at now. Where you are at now. Ooh, that's a good place to be. Represented by the honeybee and in community, also with all of the honeycombs on here. It's an indication that life is sweet for you right now, Virgo. Things are good. The end of 2022. Intuitively, I'm picking up that there was a little bit of roughness for the Virgos in the last 24 to 36 months. But generally, things have kind of panned out for you and worked out for you. And you're in a good place right now. You've found your community. You found people that you resonate with. They resonate with you. And there's kind of a lot of gratitude there. I am going to point out as well, though, the honeybee is known as a very hard worker. And so this is telling me that getting to where you're at and getting to this sweet spot, Virgo, was a work in progress. You did put a lot of work into that to get to where you are. So kudos to you for that. Your focus for 2023 is the aloneness card. Okay. Now, some people immediately go, don't like that card. Don't want to be alone. Don't like being alone. Actually, this is where the most growth happens for us. This card corresponds to the Hermit card in the traditional tarot. And this card is just an indication. I mean, you're coming from a place of sweet community. And in 2023, your focus is actually going to be alone time. What that's telling me is that perhaps some of the community and the efforts that you've put in to create that community can also seem kind of overwhelming at time, kind of closing in a little bit sticky, like honey. And so you're being called to a place of spending some time alone, doing a little bit of hermiting during the year of 2023. Like I said, as soon as I turn this card over, this is where a lot of growth happens for a lot of people. Having the opportunity to spend some time alone allows you to learn who you are on the inside. Meditation is often practiced alone. That is, some people prefer group meditations, and there's nothing wrong with that. But practicing meditation alone is really, really valuable. And you'll find that there's a lot of growth that can happen during that time. One of the other things, or one of the other messages that comes up with the Alone card or the Hermit card, is that one of the realizations that people have or need to have when this card comes up is that the only person that can help us to change or grow is ourselves. Okay. For a lot of people, we look outside of ourselves for change and for growth. And the reality is that if we're looking outside of ourselves for change or growth, then we have the opportunity to place blame on someone else for the shortcomings in our own lives. That can't happen when we're spending time alone, when we're hermiting, when we learn to take responsibility for ourselves. So Virgos, that's kind of the message for 2023 for you. The focus is learning to take responsibility for yourself, spending some time alone, really, really digging into who am I? Difficult influences for you is the Lotus or Resurrection card. The Lotus or Resurrection card in the difficult influences area of the spread is telling me that there's going to be some really, really drastic change for you in 2023, not unexpected. I think that after what's happened in the last 36 months, we all know that there is additional change coming down the pipes at us. We're not quite sure what specifically is coming or when it's coming, but we do know that there is additional change coming. And that is what this card represents for you in the difficult influences, Virgo, is that the change is coming. But it is the lotus flower. It's considered one of the most beautiful flowers out there, which means that from the change, from the upheaval that can happen during change, during the resurrection, beauty is what emerges from it. But we do have to get through the change first. Okay. Moving into, this makes sense, embracing enthusiasm. Okay. For the Virgos, shout to the heavens with happiness. This card makes sense in 2023 for you Virgos when we look at the first part of your spread, the Hermit card or the Aloneness card, the call to really dig into who you are, as well as the change card or the resurrection card here. Embracing things with enthusiasm. Whether you are spending time alone, whether you are spending time in community, whether you are dealing with significant change, this card is inviting you to embrace life with enthusiasm in 2023, no matter what comes down the pipes. This is actually an invitation to get off the couch, not spend too much time in front of the TV or, too much time scrolling as we do. This is asking you to get out and actually live. You'll notice that there's a number of butterflies up the side of the card. This is telling us to get out of our cocoons and get out there and really, really enjoy life. That's a pretty powerful message, Virgo, for 2023. Unexpected insight. Ooh, the trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. This card is a reminder to you, Virgo, that sometimes life can be one-sided. And I am going to go back to these two cards. If you are coming from a place at the end of 2022, the you now of honeybee community, lots of people around, and moving into a place of aloneness or hermiting, you can begin to have a polarization in your life where you feel like things need to be black or white, yin or yang, light or dark. And you perhaps forget that for every one of the laws of the universe is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The yin and the yang, the light and the dark, the day and the night, and so on. And so this card, as an unexpected insight, is reminding you that as you put energy out into the world, as you put efforts out into the world, whether that be in work or career or relationships, whatever it may be, keep in mind that energy will come back to you as well. That's what this card is about. It's about finding balance in life. When we have balance in our lives, then there's abundance in our lives as well. That's a really, really good unexpected insight and good reminder for 2023 for you, is find the balance between these two in 2023. That's the unexpected insight for you. Moving into outcome. Okay. This card, actually, with this card, makes a lot of sense. This card is a card of karma. This card is a card of paying attention, and that ties into this card as well, right? What you put out, you get back. Karma. So what this card is telling me for the Virgos out there is that the year 2023 could show you a side of yourself that you're not used to seeing. And there are going to be significant changes. If you have been living that really positive, in a good place type life, then you've put good karma out there and it's going to come back to you as abundance, right? But if you've been, no, I'm not going to say that. No. I've got spirit telling me to say something that's really rather rude. If you've been living life in a selfish way, in a way that is uncaring, not generous, selfish, that could come back to haunt you in 2023. The other message on this card is for you to look to the ancestors and the way that the ancestors used to do things. That is the other message of the past lives card. The reminder that getting back to the way things used to be isn't actually a bad thing. And in fact, with some of the changes that we've got coming, getting back to the way things used to be might not be a bad thing. Okay. Let's move into, we're just going to collect up all these cards here and put them back in their respective decks. Oops. And we're going to move into, let me just clear the decks here. Where is my Organite? I do cleanse each of the decks between the readings. Let's move into love and relationships. Now, I will be touching on both the single Virgos as well as the Virgos who are in relationship. Where are you now, Virgo, in relation to love, marriage, relationships, all of that kind of stuff? Where are you now? Okay, we've got a card that's jumped right out. Focus. Where is your focus for love and relationships, Virgo? For 2023, love and relationships. Whoa. Where is that card? Which card is it? Okay. See this card that's tinting up right there? That's your focus. All right. Let's move on to difficult influences. Difficult influences 2023, love and relationships for the Virgos out there. Again, sniffling. I apologize. Okay. Difficult influences. There we go. What makes sense? Where are we going for what makes sense? Yeah, we got a couple of cards in the middle. Yeah, that is your card. There it goes. Where did it go? Which finger is it poking? There it is. See how that card's tinted up? That makes sense. It is still face down. I can't tell what it is, but that's the that makes sense card. All right, let's move into unexpected insights. Where are we going for unexpected insights? Over to this deck. Okay, I've got two cards here. Which is the unexpected insights for Virgo for 2023 love? Getting called to this one. Okay, we'll read both of them, see what happens. And general overall outcome, general overall energy for 2023 for love. I don't know if you can see the mess of cards here, what they're doing, but we've got two that have decided. That's just two. Nope, there's three there. Well, we'll see how that turns out. Let's get going. You now, you are the seer beyond the current situation. Okay, with regards to love and relationships, Virgo, where are you at right now? I'm picking up that for the singles, let's start with the singles. For the single Virgos out there, this card is telling me that you're projecting, you're manifesting, you can see what you want in a relationship. You can see beyond the current situation wherein you are single and you can see the future of what's coming up for you. For the Virgos who are currently in a relationship, what this card is telling me is that right now, in the here and now, you can see the direction that your relationship is going. Here's the thing. For the majority of us, we're humans, we are intuitive, we are instinctual creatures, and we can tell whether our relationships are in a good place or a bad place. We can tell way ahead of the actual event of either getting married or getting divorced. We know. So if we're in a committed relationship and there's that hint that things might not be what they seem, then trust that, Virgo. If you are in a relationship, Virgo, and you're going sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, then trust that. Trust that your relationship's in a good place. That's what this card is about using your intuition and your instincts to understand where you are in your current relationship. Focus. Your focus for 2023 with regards to love and relationships is no thingness. You'll notice that this is a black card. For the life of me, I cannot remember what the corresponding card is. The Hierophant. Hierophant. Right. This card is a card of positivity, despite the fact that it is a blank black card. What this card indicates is that for those of you who are in a relationship, there isn't really the need or the push to infuse the relationship with a whole bunch more right now. It's actually in a good place where you're at right now. Okay. For those of you who are single, this card for your focus for 2023 is an indication that the you now has done some manifesting. You've kind of determined and put out there what it is that you would like to manifest, whether that be a relationship or whether that be remaining single is entirely up to you. But you've put that out there and you've anticipated what that is, right? You've seen what that future is. And now in 2023, your focus is to allow that to happen. This is a card of allowing. Difficult influence. Your difficult influence in 2023, Virgo, for relationships and love is distant thunder, clear the air. This is a card of communication. So if you don't have communication, then it's an indication of distant thunder. It's an indication that things are lost in translation, that there are misunderstandings that are possible. This card in the difficult influences position of the reading makes sense, because if you're not communicating so for the singles, if you're not communicating, if you didn't communicate what you want clearly over here, then what your outcome will be actually nothing. But if you've communicated really clearly about what you want, then this card isn't really going to be a problem. Okay. If you are a single and you're dating, this card again is a card of, I reiterate, it's a card of communication. If you're out on a date and the communication isn't clear and it's not making sense, and your intuition and spidey senses are going off, listen to that. Because if you don't, that distant thunder is going to roll in closer and you're going to end up in a thunderstorm. For those of you in a current relationship, clear the air. It's about communicating with your partner this year in 2023. If there's something that your partner is doing that is making you squirm, communicate it to them. You know, half of the time we may go, well, I don't want to bring that up with my partner and it's going to upset my partner and I don't want to say that to them. And yet what they're doing is really, really getting under your skin deeper and deeper every day. And for many of us, when we finally do bring that up to our partner and say, hey, you're doing that little thing and it really bugs me, your partner might go, oh my God, I didn't even realize that was bothering you. I'm so sorry. And yet in your mind for the last 3 weeks, while this thing has been brewing and festering, you've gone, oh my God, when I bring it up, they're going to get so angry and yada, yada. And then your partner actually goes, oh, sorry, oops, my bad. And that's the end of it. That's what this card is encouraging you to do in your love and relationships this year, Virgo. Okay, for those of you who are single, if you're out on a date and somebody is, I don't know, chewing their dinner with their mouth wide open and smacking their food, and that's just a deal breaker for you, you can choose to say something and see whether they change their behavior in that moment, or you can clear the air and just not go out on a second date with that person, right? Pay attention to distant thunder and communicate to clear the air in 2023. Let's move into this makes sense. Sequoia tree, the balance card. That makes sense. It's supposed to make sense. It's this makes sense card in the spread, but this makes sense in the context of the 3 cards that have been turned over already, that there is some balance for you. For those of you who are single, who've, set your manifestations, put it out there, you're kind of sitting in this no thingness, waiting for the good things to come to you. You understand that you need to clear the air. It makes sense that your love and relationships in 2023 are going to be fairly balanced. That goes for those of you in a relationship as well. That if you have the capacity to see beyond the current situation, you know the direction of your relationship, you're kind of sitting in that, you understand the necessity and importance to clear the air, keep the lines of communication open, then your relationship will be balanced. Unexpected insights. Okay, now what are the chances? What are the chances of this card coming up twice in a row in two separate readings in the same position? That's what's just happened, Virgo. Not very likely, right? So this card is telling me that, again, communication. This comes back to your difficult influences, but again, communication, and it's about sharing. It's about exchanging. Let's start with those of you who are in relationships. If you feel like you are doing all of the work in the relationship, then you're not having this balance. And so therefore, there can't be abundance in your relationship. There has to be a trade-off somewhere. So for those of you who are in relationships, Virgos, in 2023, remember keeping balance in mind in your relationships. Okay. The second card to come up is unexpected insight. This card is about transforming and unveiling your gifts. This card is actually about revealing a little bit more about who you are, taking your mask off this year. Okay, so again, for those of you who are in relationships, as an unexpected insight, this card is asking you to perhaps show your partner a little bit more of who you are, a little bit more of your vulnerabilities. Take that mask off, because as you do, it's going to keep things a little bit more interesting in your relationship. Okay. For those of you who are single, this card coming up, the Traitor card coming up, remember that if you are going out on dates, keep things in balance, keep things in perspective. Don't be looking for that Instagram worthy perfect date and constantly be trying to take that picture. This card is about an exchange of energies when you are on the dating circuit. Okay. This card can also indicate sharing some of the financial burden of dating. This may be a really, really unpopular opinion. Take it with however many grains of salt you want. Dating is expensive. The Traitor involves an exchange of something for something. Keep that in mind while you're dating. What's coming up for me is if you decide to go out on a second date and the other party paid the first time, maybe you could consider paying the second time. If the other party came up with a brilliant idea for a great date the first time, or a great activity to do on a date that was outside of the box, and you loved it, then the exchange of energy can be when you suggest the second date, you think outside of the box and come up with another great idea. Do you see what I'm saying? How that balances things out. So for the singles out there, really consider the balance in the dating world. And again, show your date a little bit about who you are. Now, I am going to say, this isn't about fully ripping off your mask for the singles. If you're more comfortable leaving it kind of half on your face as it is here, that's okay too. But this is about authenticity. Okay. So while you're dating this year, Virgo, in 2023, be authentic. All right. outcomes for love and relationships. Outcomes. Okay. Okay. Ascending the mountain, keep going forward. So for 2023, Virgo, this is telling me that, you know, this is a card of hope. This is a card of perseverance. It's a card of, you know, keep going forward. There is so much satisfaction when we get to the top of the mountain. That sense of accomplishment when we get there. Now, for those of you who are in relationships, if all the way back here, you're seeing nothing but doom and gloom, then obviously that's not your card for the end of the reading, right? You're not being told you're not going to put efforts in if you've seen doom and gloom over here. However, if you've seen that things are working out and things are rosy and things are good, but then you hit a little bit of a bumpy spot during 2023, this card's telling you keep climbing that mountain, keep going forward. Okay. This card is your fellow traveler's card. This is telling you that you are supported in what you're doing. Okay. Whether you decide to end a relationship this year, whether you decide to start a relationship this year, whether you decide to stay status quo and stay in your relationship or stay single, you are being supported by the people around you. Pay attention to the people around you and the supports that are around you and keep them close. You never know when you might need them. Okay? Keep going, stay the course. This is the third card that came out in the outcome position of the love and relationships card. The mystic healer, healing energy flows through you. For both the people in relationships, the Virgos in relationships, as well as the Virgos who are single, this card is telling me that even when things get rough this year, ascending the mountain, even if you hear that distant thunder, but you're able to clear the air, there's angels around you. There's healing energy around you. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave off and we'll move into money, work, and career. Just make sure that this is well cleared. Part of the deck is over there. Left sitting behind. Card back in this one. Okay. All right, let's move into Virgo. Money, job, work, career. Where are you now? Money, job, work, career. I'm sorry I'm stifling at you. I apologize. I don't edit. You get the real me every time I come on. Virgo. Where are you now with regards to, oh, there we go. Money, job, work, career. Your focus in 2023. Your focus in 2023. And then back over here. I don't know if you can see, there's two cards there. Difficult influences. Difficult influences. Okay, again, we've got an entire pile of cards. I think 4 cards. Let's see if we can narrow that down. Difficult influences. Okay, it's split. Okay. This makes sense. Okay. Again, 4 cards. See if we can just determine. That one is definitely one of them that's coming out. And that one. Okay, this makes sense. How about some unexpected insights? Unexpected insights for Virgo with regards to money and career. All right. General overall outcome, money and career for Virgo. Again, we're going over here. Oh, we got a card that turned right over. Okay. Where are you right now, Virgo, with regards to money and job? The dandelion, the healing card. This tells me that things have been a little bit rough for you recently. Last couple of years have been a little bit rough, more than a little bit rough. And yet there's healing that has happened. The other thing that this card is telling me, Virgo, is that you're ready to put things out there again and get started, rebuild things. The dandelion, as you know, produces its seeds. And as the wind blows, the seeds blow along with it and get carried along by the wind. That's an indication that there is somewhat of an easygoing nature with regards to where you're at now for rebuilding and healing things around money and job or career. Your focus for 2023, there's actually 2 cards that are coming up. Oh, well, that's interesting. Looky here. You have a double healing card. Look at that. This is where you're at now. You're healing. And your focus in 2023 with regards to money, job, career is more healing. It's continuing what you've started in 2023. There's also the completion card. I'm just going to check my corresponding chart here because I can't remember off the top of my head. We are at 21, the universe card. This card corresponds to the universe card in the traditional tarot. Sorry, sometimes I have to check my corresponding cards. I don't have all of them memorized. Completion. This means full circle. For some of you, this can mean letting go of the past, realizing that the career that you were in was not the right career, moving forward from that, healing from that, coming full circle and, starting something new, a puzzle piece falling into place for you to start something new. When we heal ourselves and when we finish one puzzle, we move on to the next thing. We move on to the next puzzle. We start looking to put new things together. So I think that in relation to money, work and career specifically for 2023, it is a time of healing and closing one door and opening the next door. That's what this card is telling me. However, if we read this as the universe card from the traditional tarot, this is telling me that that next door is going to open. The universe card is that the universe is open to you. There's opportunities out there that are open to you. And you just have to find the right piece of the puzzle to fit into your life with regards to money and career. There is significant change coming, specifically surrounding money in 2023, as well as beyond. We all know that. We know that there's changes happening. And I think that's part of the healing that's going to happen for you. But it's also part of the completion. You realize that the current way of doing things with regards to money isn't necessarily sustainable. And so you are part of the puzzle to put things together. This is what's coming up for me intuitively, is that you're part of the puzzle for the new financial system, the new work system, the new way of doing things. I think you're important to this, Virgo. Let's look at your difficult influences. Makes sense. Difficult influences. The first card in the difficult influences is the Sage card. Be devoted and committed. Being that this card is in the difficult influences, this is telling me that in order for you to be that part of the puzzle, in order for you to have that completion and that success that is your focus this year, in order for you to have healing, you need to be devoted. You need to be committed to what it is you're doing. If this is in the difficult influences, it means that you are easily distracted right now and you're squirrel, you know, that's not going to fly in 2023, Virgo. You can't be looking at the squirrels out the window. You've got to be devoted to what it is that you're doing for you to be successful in 2023. The other card that's coming up in the difficult influences portion of this reading is the protection guardian, dropping your shields. Okay, what this card is telling me in the difficult influences is actually like the opposite meaning, right? So what this card is telling me is that you will be easily distracted in 2023, but not to allow yourself to be easily distracted in order to be successful. What this card is telling me in 2023 is that you do need to keep whatever it is that you're doing a little bit under wraps, protect it a little bit. What this card is telling me is that what you are doing is protected, but you can't go and be a blabbermouth. Okay, whatever project you are trying to birth and bring to fruition in 2023, keep your shields up around that a little bit until you're actually ready to announce it to the world. Okay, those are your difficult influences this year, 2023. What makes sense? This card is reinforcing this one, right? You need to stay focused. You need to stay focused. Makes sense. Narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. Okay. This card coming up in the This Makes Sense corresponds directly to this one. Corresponds directly to this card. If you are looking at a 12-lane highway in front of you with no destination in sight, if you haven't set your intentions with regards to money, job, and career, and you're just going, okay, I want to be rich. Don't we all? But if that's the intention you've set, the universe is looking at you going, yeah, okay. It doesn't know what to give you. Get focused. Narrow down what it is that you want in 2023. Get focused. Be devoted and committed to what it is that you are trying to bring into manifestation and into reality. Unexpected insight, letting go. Letting go, unexpected insight, okay? What I'm picking up for you intuitively for this card, Virgo, is that there is healing that's going to happen for you. You are part of a puzzle. you need to be devoted and committed to what it is and focused on what it is that you are trying to create. But you need to let go of the past. Let go, water off a duck's back, so to speak. This card is the Eight of Cups. It is about water, and it's about just flowing, letting go. It is what it is. Once you have put it out there later on in 2023, there are certain things that you're just going to have to let go of. Overall outcome for money and finances in 2023 is the Sun, keeping the faith. This makes sense because there is still some healing that needs to be done in order for you to be able to truly manifest your vision for your money and your job and your career. I do want to say that all of this is telling me that there is likely career or job change in 2023 for many of the Virgos, maybe not for all, but for many of the Virgos. For some Virgos, that may be just a transfer to a different department in the company that you're in and doing something a little different. But there's definitely change on the horizon. And this card is telling you just to keep the faith that things will be okay. Even if at some point it looks like things are falling apart, maybe there's a job loss. When you get really focused on your new career, there's a lot of positivity there. Let go of the past, don't hold resentments. The Sun in the traditional tarot is considered the happiest card in the deck. I want to tell you, Virgos, that this is not the first time that the Sun card has appeared in these year prediction readings, in these zodiac year-end 2023 readings. This card's come up a couple of times. That to me is telling me that for a lot of people on this planet, as much as things have been rough and bumpy, there is some sun ahead. We just need to keep positive about what's out there. Keep the faith that there is good coming for us. Like I said, the Sun in the traditional tarot is the happiest card in the deck. And you got it in relation to money and career. So thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Happy New Year, Virgos. I really, really wish you all the best in 2023.